Mini consoles have eluded me for a long time. I actually started with a PlayStation Mini there. I got my opinions upon it, which you're about to find out. But I actually bought the other ones as well to make a massive comparison why I like these. With a looming Sega Mega Drive Mini coming out soon in September, October. I haven't got the release date there. Sucks to be me. I thought it'd be best to actually do a comparison video of the 3 mini consoles that are out. The 3 licensed mini consoles, might I say. By not only Sony, but Nintendo as well. I want to see what they come out with. So, let's have a look at what's going to happen, people. Hello, and thank you very much for joining me today with a very weird video. I was meant to be doing Saints Row 4 and I'm just having way too much fun with that. I have too much fun to actually do a review upon that right now. So I came up with this nice concept. The 3 mini consoles, I'm going to be looking at the good, the bad, the ugly. So we're going to start off with the good. It's no surprise this one's actually the good one. So it is no surprise that I've said that this is the good console. The Super SNES Classic Edition. Its beautiful, sleek design actually is so cute to look at, considering it was the nicest looking console at the time between Sega Mega Drive, the Genesis, and then the Super Nintendo. It was actually quite a nice retro design, and to see it miniaturized, it's actually quite a cute little design. Now, the ports on the back of it are actually HDMI and a power cable, and to plug in the controllers, they're USB. That's actually quite cute how they've managed to hide these little ports at the front away, but overall, once again, just hitting that power button boots up all the games. When you boot it up, you're greeted by the list of games. Going from left to right, you can go to any games you want. Now, overall, there are 21 games. This does differ between Japan and PAL regions, but I'll go through the list and you can see why it's different. Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, F-Zero, Final Fantasy VI, Kirby Superstar, Kirby Dream Course, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox 2, which had to be unlocked, Street Fighter 2, Turbo Hyper Fighting, Super Castlevania, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, and Yoshi's Island. Woo! Now that was a list. Now, there are some major differences between Japan and the PAL region, like I said. Earthbound was available to the PAL regions, but in Japan it wasn't. Fire Emblem, however, was available to the Japan, but wasn't available to us. Kirby's Dream Course, once again, not available to Japan, but The Legend of the Mystical Ninja was available to Japan. Panel de Pon was available to Japan. Meanwhile, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting and Super Castlevania 4 was available only to us. Super Punch-Out was one of ours. Meanwhile, in Japan they got Super Soccer and Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers. Honestly, one day I've got to figure out what the difference is with all the Street Fighter variants, but hey ho. Now, I really couldn't care about the sales of this thing. I only care that this actually had a very fluid interface. The fact you can jump in and out of each game without much stress or worry. Hitting the reset button will take you back to the main menu, but allow you to create a quick save. If you want to save any further with that, you actually have to go and tell it to save that progress. There's in-game saves, but the quick save is also really handy in case you really just need to dart and there's no save point. Once again, flicking through the games and jumping in and out each one is actually quite fun. There's nothing really wrong with this interface. I wouldn't actually change it at all. Mind you, this was actually the same interface as the NES, so what wasn't broke wasn't fixed. Yeah, so the Super Nintendo actually boasted some really nice games on it. I actually quite liked it a lot. Can't really see a damn thing wrong with it. As you can sort of see, very nicely made. Games I've talked about quite lengthily, hopefully, or just glanced over. Overall, it was worth my money, this one. So, with 2 consoles left, what's the bad? PlayStation Classic. It was the first 3D console I actually owned after owning the Sega Mega Drive. Now, This had a lot of nostalgia for me, but let's cut through the crap. It's a beautifully lovely designed console. It's got the same input and outputs as the other mini consoles. The controllers themselves are pretty much spot on and feels about the weight. However, their inputs are very sluggish and slow to my knowledge, and I feel that because of the bad timing, it impacts my enjoyment of a lot of the games. The lovely little console itself looks amazing and spot on to the design of the original PlayStation 1 design, and actually functions more or less the same way as other consoles do. Power to power on, open to change disc, and reset puts you back to the main game selection. As for the hub to select the games, it's very simplistic. You do scroll through a very select few games that, honestly, my opinion upon them is there's some good little gems, but there's also a bit of fluff in between that makes you question why was it actually chosen, compared to actually the Japan release, which actually had a few different games that they didn't get a few of ours, and their choices were a wee bit better. Hopefully you'll see that when I actually tell you the lists. North America, PAL, Korea, and South Asia got this list: Battle Arena Toshiniden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy 7, Grand Theft Auto, Intelligence Cube, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, R4, Rage Racer Type 4, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. Now, like I said, there were some games in there which honestly were fluff. Cool Borders 2, Battle Arena Toshiniden. I do find Intelligence Cube wasn't really needed, along with Jumping Flash. And then there's some choices which should have been the sequel or originals. For example, Destruction Derby should have been Destruction Derby 2 because that was the better of them. Resident Evil Director's Cut should have just been the plain original Resident Evil. Tekken 3 really should have been Tekken 2, but Tekken 3 is also one of my favorites as well out of the series, and boy, God, has the series jumped the shark by now. But then there's some really good ones like Metal Gear Solid and then Final Fantasy 7. It's such a mix and a yin-yang of games, really, for us, that dampens my enjoyment, especially with the laggy controls. Effectively, if you look into the whole entire debacle with the console, and there's a lot of videos that actually break down this console furthermore and tell you why it's probably bad. I found out why. I've looked into it myself. I'll 100% agree with some of these things that do hinder the enjoyment of the console and games. It's still a pretty bad console. It was very rushed to get it out for Christmas, I believe, and because of it, it really suffered. It was set to be so good, but inevitably, the library's what made it bad. However, with my modifications and actually having so many new games on this and wonderful classics that we all know and love, it's actually pretty damn decent now. But for the asking price and for a week later for it to drop by £20, kicking my teeth. That's why it's the bad console. Sadly, I've got to talk about the ugly, and I know I'm gonna hack a lot of people off with this. Nintendo Entertainment System Classic Edition. My god, that's a mouthful. So people always call it the NES Classic. Trying to find any information upon this is a nightmare. Now, just like the Super Nintendo, it still bolsters the same kind of interface, just differently textured. You can flick through the range of games and have a quick save, and also enjoy your time actually playing some good old classics. Like all the consoles, trying to say this again, that it also bolsters USB and HDI and has a very classic, unique look. The fact that the controller also feels bang on as well just hits nostalgia for me. So, meanwhile, our design looks the way it does because it's to represent how we got in North America and Europe countries. Meanwhile, Asia and Japan got the Famicom version of it. Now, the Famicom looks pretty damn cool, and I really wish I had one. They work more or less in the same way. They have the same quick save feature, they have the same layout of the games, but with all the original art for those games instead of the art that we have. So, I'm going to get straight into the included games because it is quite a lengthy list. So, the 30 included titles, 22 of them are common between all regions. Yes, that's right, once again there's a North America and the PAL version against the Japan version. So we're going to go with the North American and PAL version. We got Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2 The Revenge, Dr. Mario, Excitebike, Final Fantasy, Galactica, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Legend of Zelda, Mario Bros, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream, Star Tropics, Super Contra, Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, Temco Bowl, and Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link. That's a pretty cool list. A lot of those are very well known and beloved classics. It's not the fact that these are bad. Let me just stress this, even though I've classed this the ugly. It's not a bad lineup, it's a really good lineup. With this success was only succeeded by the Super Nintendo's lineup. But with that library, it's impressive to actually see how far both the NES and the Super NES came compared to their other competition, the PlayStation. I can only hope that, the Super Nintendo actually does bolster off another mini console in the Nintendo lineup. Anyway, so that's about it. Well, I didn't have one as a kid. I still don't want it now, but for the sake of video, I couldn't exactly not talk about this. It's got some really good games, especially Star Fox 2. Wow, that was a good game. A lot of really memorable, playable games were on this and meant a lot to me to revisit my old childhood of seeing these games at friends' houses. Well, it was worth it to pick this up for such a cheap price as well. This is actually, taken into consideration PlayStation's original price, this is the cheapest of the three. The Sega Mega Drive Mini is actually about the same price as the PlayStation when it came out, or the good old Super Nintendo. I'm hoping it really sticks up, because I've seen the game lining up. There are some things wrong with that. Other than that, people, that's another review done. It's another review done. However, next video, I can say with hands down, firmly it'll be Saints Row 4. Or if I actually get off my butt, I might actually do Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, I keep saying that every video. That's never going to happen. You want me to do 3? Alright. I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3. Thanks so much for watching, people, and I am still trying to get used to this setup, so I'm sorry it's a bit out there and you're now seeing a lot more around the bookcase and me. I'm still getting set up with this. Audio hopefully is good. Other than that, sorry, I'm blabbering on. Please like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell icon to keep updated, know when I'm uploading. Also, go check out my Facebook page. It's where I mostly blab about a lot of crap and sort of say updates. I'm really editing this. I'm going to play this. I'm editing this. It's one of those things I try and keep up to date. If you talk to me, I'll talk to you. That's how that works. Other than that, please, thank you very much for watching this, The Good, The Bad, The Ugly. It's not an actual mainline video of the memory card series. It is actually leading into a mainline video. So I hope you actually, yeah. Special thanks to my friend Luke, who actually is the person at the end which you see playing the game. I wish I had recording of all the main fuck-ups we did, but hey, we got it there. Anyway, thank you very much, people. Catch you for the next video. Memory card.